Welcome everyone to the 18th exhibition of Stupid People. Today, I want to talk about a few very interesting subjects. First off, to Twitch. You see, there was a video doing its rounds, a clip. There are a couple of clips, but the most notable clip was one of this girl requesting that everyone subscribe to her. I know Count Dankula did a very long video on it. I know Sinatra has done one as well. I haven't seen either. I just know they're very long and the clip is very short. So one has to wonder just what she said. She said this.
How did my whole speech about how I need subs to get the stream going if you like the content, blah, 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 how that results in 0 subs? There are regulars here. $5 a month. How do you have hours of time to watch me and not $5? I don't know. What are you doing with your life where you have hours of time to watch Twitch and not $5 to provide for the content that you're watching? There are I have a wall of non-subs. This is fucking actually really heartbreaking because it's like people just really they really don't respect me as a content creator.
Right. Out of context, this is quite interesting and entitled, and understandably many will argue against it because it does come from a place of entitlement. The clip in question comes about 2.5 hours into a 7-hour, 11-minute stream. Yeah, I watched the whole bloody thing and discovered that, even in context, it's still pretty crappy, but there's something I got from it, from the Bad Bunny Twitch channel. First of all, I discovered I've been following her for years on Twitter without realising. I regularly purge. I think she was a part of Gamergate. I can't remember. But upon watching the stream, I got this air of everything in sarcasm. It reminded me an awful lot of Brittany Venti. The character of Brittany Venti anyway. I still can't tell if she's real or not. And much like Brittany Venti, I can't tell if Bad Bunny is real or not. Because it is so brazen, so blunt, and hypocritical for somebody to support Bernie while all the while, on every stream they do, resetting their subscriber goal of 50 new subs by the end of the stream, and then spending the entire stream talking about progressiveness and begging for subs. Oh, and being a really bad person to other people. The latter being the part that had me curious whether or not this was leaning in favour of being real or not. Part of me still thinks it's a Poe. But then doing a little more digging into the Bad Bunny Twitch channel, there are a number of videos being done on Nicole that quite clearly state some of the rather bad things she's done, and I'm going to link one below, titled The Greediest Streamer on Twitch, created and released by Penguins Zero. It is informative, it has extra clips, and also the guy's hilarious for someone who has a more deadpan delivery than I do. Since we know during all the streams the subscriber goal is reset, and I bothered to check most recent streams and it actually is, and the streams go on for an incredible amount of time, one has to safely surmise that she goes long beyond hitting the goal. It is a brand, and it is entirely an extension of e-begging that I'm quite uncomfortable with. I'm just happy people do subscribe. I'm just happy people do donate. To then tell them, give me your money so I can continue my fight for the left and Bernie because I was once alt-right and that be bad and I need to, live a better life, yo, swag. I should be clear, I don't mean I was alt-right, I mean Bad Bunny was. It's in her Twitter profile. I don't think that's how I know her though. I swear it was Gamergate. I swear it was. Did you used to have red hair? Anyway, the whole point of the video was a level of entitlement. It was used out of context, but then when listening to the context in full, even after the Lottie Blix questions and answers, a lot of it was e-begging throughout. And I found it incredibly cringy, uncomfortable, and in retrospect, even if it is a Poe, it's still a level of entitlement for somebody with 95,000 followers. Jesus, you must have so many subscribers. Like at least 12T. Moving on. Right, so let's now go to the mighty, glorious Kingdom of Fife, where Angus MacFife XIII reigns supreme. With that in mind, in Fife, last September, a 47-year-old man decided in his infinite wisdom to hold up a bank. It was a Bank of Scotland branch in Bothwell Street, Dunfermline. To do so, he was armed with a meat cleaver, because that was what was easier to get his hands around and not a potato peeler, which is arguably a more deadly weapon. Now, he pulled the weapon from a pillowcase before putting the bedding item on to cover his face, meaning he was already exposed in the branch in the first place. Genius. However, not long after putting this pillowcase over his face, he had to remove it, because, understandably, he hadn't learned the lessons of the KKK and decided, I can't see. I guess I'll have to just quickly ask if people don't mind if I use my meat cleaver to delicately carve out 2 eye holes that are about as wide apart as they need to be for my eyes, which, based on your intelligence, would surely be on the side of your head. The man in question, Matthew Davis, managed to get his hands on almost £2,000 before deciding to saunter off home and start petting his dog. Now, we know this because, being the genius that he is, he didn't realise one of the customers in the branch had tailed him all the way home and then told the police where he was. I just see genius here. Understandably, Matthew Davis pled guilty to the charge of assault and robbery. Now, he had made a rather aggressive threat to harm someone in the branch, a female, and he had used his cleaver to attack some of the glass at the counter. Now, he was given initially £300, which is a kingly sum in Fife, but it wasn't enough. Well then, sounds to me like you're just being a bit greedy. Now, Matthew Davis will be sentenced on February 21st. It's very hard to believe this man will not get a custodial sentence. I think, however, it would be quite funny if he then had to pay back the money he stole even though the money was returned. I think that would be a greater punishment because apparently he was so hard up £2,000 was enough. Just imagine if he had a bit more money, he could get corrective eye surgery to have his eyes on the back of his head so he can watch when people are following him. Moving on. The last story I want to cover today concerns a story from India and animal fighting. I am going to now be upfront. I do not, will not, and shall not ever condone or endorse animal fighting, except Pokemon, okay? The reason for it is obvious, and I don't care for it. So with that in mind, let's go to a cockfight in Pragadavaram. It is in the Andhra Pradesh area of India, and concerns a man called Saripalli Channavenkateshwaram Rao, who on his way to a cockfight was attacked and unfortunately passed away. I do feel some sympathy for the 50-year-old man to pass away the way he did, but at the same time, mad respect to the cock. You see, the cock in question had a utility attached to his claw. It was a blade, and interestingly, the man, well, he was taken to hospital and passed away from a stroke. I want to add to this that cockfighting has actually been illegal in India since 1960, and yet it is still prevalent in outlying villages. And while animal rights protesters have been trying for years to get all of these places shut down, regardless of Rao going to hospital, their particular cockfighting question still took place. One can only hope this particular cock won and didn't gas out after destroying his former owner. I find it quite fascinating that state authorities and districts, they know about the offences, they know about the law, but they choose to turn a blind eye towards it because of the money involved from the gambling, and they're okay with that. And of course, the entertainment of two animals brutally harming each other to death. Nothing screams entertainment more than that, am I right? Says no one? I've always found combat sports to be more entertaining, because at least then we are trained and we make an informed decision to be involved in it, as opposed to battering an animal until they do as they're told, or make them more aggressive by doing things like restricting food. It is barbaric, and no amount of money can legitimize, or should legitimize, this kind of behaviour. To Rao, rest in peace, I guess? To the cock, well done. Who's a good boy? Yeah, I'm taking the animal's side in this one, okay? With the 3 stories in question, I'm very much interested to know which of those you think was the stupidest. So please do tell me in the comments below. I am streaming tonight on Omegon Plays. Do feel free to swing by, smash the like. Thank you very much for joining me. Hope you all have a fantastic Thursday, and thank you all for listening.